How many buffaloes and cows do you own? Will you and your wife move to New Zealand? Is Rock your real last name? If you had children, would you raise them in India or New Zealand? Well, before I get into these questions about me, about Manisha, about my family, about where this channel's going, take a second to admire the beauty of where we are right now. This is Uttarakhand. This is the only other state I could live in besides Delhi. Actually, Delhi's not a state, it's a union territory. But let's check this side. So you've got the lakeside behind me, and then on this side, this is the New Zealand side. It just looks like New Zealand. The amazing forest and these valleys. How's that, nah? Absolutely incredible. This is India, dosto chalo. Let's go take a seat and let's answer all these crazy questions that you guys have for me. I started this channel like 2 years ago, simply to help people travel safely and confidently in India so they could love India as much as I do. I want people to love their experiences here in India, but too many people were having a bad time the second they stepped out of the New Delhi airport. So I wanted to change that. That was the motivation towards starting this channel. My goal in life, or my purpose in life, is to help others. That is what I know I'm good at and what I love to do. So I feel really fulfilled when I get messages from people who say, your videos help me enjoy India and love India. When I help people and when I get their feedback, that's when I feel amazing about myself. And I know that I'm making a difference. And we're such a big family now. And the thing I realized about YouTube is that, there's so many subscribers, but there's different audiences in those hundreds of thousands of people. So there's some people who just want my scam videos. There's some people who just want my food videos. There's some people who just want my village videos, or I don't know, whatever else I'm doing. And that's the beauty of, well, some people want them all. Some people want to see my wife Manisha only. And this is the beauty of this channel. I can do so many different things. I don't just have to make scam videos. So thank you guys so much for allowing me to, experiment and try new things. I really appreciate your support on this. Now, let's jump into some questions now. So first question, it's from Kareri. Tell me about yourself before you were making videos. Okay, cool. So before I was making videos, I was working. I've been working since I was like 12 years old when I first had my paper run. Then I got a job in a supermarket. Then I got a job in a record store. Do you guys remember record stores? Then I got a job in the music industry working in anti-piracy, like representing the major recording labels in New Zealand. And then I moved into a record label. I worked for Sony Music in New Zealand. Then, the entire time I was always studying at university and kind of upskilling myself as well. So first I studied audio engineering and music production. Then I went on to study film and media studies. And then the music industry was dying, right? So I knew I had to position myself to pivot. Such a techie term. Anyway, so I was studying computer science in the background while I was working in the music industry because I knew I had to bail. And then I got into IT, into computer security. And that's the point where I lost my job and I'm like, done. I am so done working for people. I spent like the last 12 years working full-time for people. Now it's time to do something for me and to follow my passions in life. I've always followed my passions in life, whether it was like first music, then computers, and thirdly now India. I'm following my passion for India. So yeah, that's what I was doing before YouTube. Just working away. And I don't regret those years. They were great years. They made me who I am today, and I learned so much working for these companies. So it's all good. I'm so glad I'm here where I am now though, thank God. And it's all because of you guys. Second question, Radhika, in what year did you come to India and what brought you here, Karl? Okay, I came to India first time in 2013. Every year we get a month off work. So I'd always go on holiday and I was busy traveling the rest of the world and I was leaving India till last. I don't know why, because since I was 18, I started to get this passion for India the first time I tried Indian food. Then it moved on to Bollywood music, Bollywood films. It moved on to being interested in the culture and being interested in Indian people. And this passion and this obsession with India just started growing since I was 18. I knew I had to go to India, but I didn't end up there until 2013. 10 years after I first found that passion for India. I don't know why it took me so long, but I traveled the rest of the world first, then I came to India in 2013. And yeah, my passion for India brought me here. And I knew I would love it here. And as soon as I got here, I knew this is where I wanted to be in my future. And, life has a funny way of fulfilling my desires and my dreams. So here I am. Next question. Sorab. How many buffaloes and cows do you own? Bro, we don't own any buffaloes or cows in Delhi. I don't think you're allowed them in Delhi, certainly not in apartment complexes. But Manisha's family in Rajasthan, in the village, they had 2 buffaloes, but they sold them. I don't know why they sold them. And now they have 2 cows instead. I don't know, was that like a conscious choice away from buffalo milk to cow milk? Because buffalo milk is so much more creamier and the buffaloes produce more milk than cows. I'll ask them next time I go back there. So yeah, I don't own anything, but our family owns 2 cows, okay? Enough. Do you plan to live in India permanently? How? Yes. We are not going anywhere. India is our home now, okay? Don't worry about that. I know a lot of YouTubers come and go from India, but I'm here permanently, okay? Don't worry about that. Timon, is Rock your real last name? Finally somebody asked me this. No, it's not. Rock is my nickname from New Zealand, so I put my real first name, Karl, and Rock together and made Karl Rock. And actually, I'm so glad I did that on YouTube, because I tell you why. I knew I had to do it actually in the beginning, because I knew I was going to take on these scammers. And these scammers are really powerful. And now look, I'm taking on these scam call centers. And next I'm planning to take on these fake gurus. So I'm taking on so many powerful people. And all these scammers and powerful people have a nexus with the police. And what you might not know is the Indian government and the police have a database of where I am at all times, okay? Whenever I sign into a hotel like this one, the hotel staff register my name, my passport, all my details into a police database. So the police know where I am every single night. And the police have my rental agreement records. So they know where I live. So these scammers could easily look up my real name, find my address, or find where I am in real time and come for me, okay? So I knew I had to take some precautions, and using my nickname Rock was one of the precautions I took. And actually everybody around me, they all know my name, right? But they've all kept it, you know, a secret. No one's leaked it, right? And so I really appreciate that they respect my decision for safety and security by not using my real last name. I know it will leak one day, and when it does leak, I'll put it up on my official website in my About section. But until then, I'm enjoying the security that it gives me. I've always been really security minded because, you know, I studied security and computer science, and yeah, security is just so important, all right? And I'm sure you guys get that living in India. Ashad, what is the funniest, most embarrassing punishment in your school? I think I got the worst punishments at school because I was a naughty little I was such a bad boy when I was in primary school. Those kind of first 15 years of my life, I kind of matured. I matured really late in life, you know. I was just a badass. So one time this guy tackled me on the rugby field in New Zealand. I was just doing nothing and he comes and tackles me, right? For no reason. And so I got angry and I yelled at him and I called him, get this, a lesbian bum humper. And I called him that because I'd heard it on TV the night before. My parents, this is back in the 90s, my parents were watching a program on, I guess it was on gay people, I can't remember. And so I learned these 2 words and Mum goes, do not say these 2 words. So next day, I used those 2 words on this kid. And this kid, I don't think he knew what it meant either. I didn't know what lesbian bum humping was. It doesn't even make sense, right? Lesbians don't bum hump. And bum hump, who uses that word? It's so stupid. So anyway, I was a kid. I was like 9 or 10 years old at school. And this other kid who I used these words on, he ran to the principal and told on me. So the principal comes up to me and says, Karl, what did you say? I'm like, I always tell the truth. I'm like, I called that guy a lesbian bum humper. And oh God, he called my mum. My mum came into the school crying because I was getting sent home from school for calling someone a lesbian bum humper. And so Mum's crying in the car, she's taking me home, kid's been sent home from school. It's a really big deal if you get sent home from school in New Zealand. And then my punishment for the next 2 weeks, I had to sit outside the flagpole during lunchtime and watch all the other kids play. Just for saying these 2 stupid words to some kid who tackled me. That was the worst punishment. And then I wasn't allowed on the soccer team because I was a troublemaker, and because of that, such a pain. And honestly, when you look back, like that was the 90s, right? And that's how taboo lesbianism and being a homosexual was back then. It was really taboo in New Zealand then. So just using those 2 stupid words, which didn't actually have a meaning, right? I got in so much trouble. Crazy. Nowadays, I think they just laugh, you know? Stupid kid. Don't say those words. You don't know what they mean. So that was my most memorable punishment at school. Yashwant, why did you choose India over other countries? I think I've explained this pretty well in all my videos. Like I always tell you about my love for India, right? It's a feeling why I love India, you know, it's in my heart. It's like, why do you like the color red or why do you like the color blue? You just do, and that's how I feel with India. I just love India. It's just inside me. And so some people have said to me, maybe you're an Indian in a past life, and yeah, that could be the reason, right? There's so many reasons to love India, right? The diversity, the food, the culture, the people, the landscape, you know? The diversity in the landscape, the diversity in everything. So yeah, there's too many reasons for me to love India, and I think my channel kind of speaks to all of them as I show you around this incredible country. Abhi and Niu. These guys, I follow them on Instagram and they make these great videos all around India. What would you change about India? I mean, there's only one, I'll just say one thing. I'd just pick up all the rubbish. I'd make this place clean because India is an absolute paradise. And I'm sure you guys feel the same way as me about this. But the rubbish and the litter and the pollution is absolutely spoiling this paradise. So we need to change that. We need to get rid of all this rubbish, and then everybody else around the world can see India for the paradise that it is. And I don't know if it will happen, but I hope it happens. Asalan, what's your opinion on what's happening in India? Bro, are you trying to get me deported? Next question. Pratik, imagine you owned an Indian restaurant. What would you serve, and what would the name of your restaurant be? Wow, such an imaginative question, Pratik. I mean, I have a store, Karlji Chari Ki Dukaan and Karlji Pili Anand Lassi Ki Dukaan. I have a couple of stores already. Next store, I mean a serious store, it'd be like Rocky Chole Bhature store. Something like that. Chole Bhature is my favorite street food, so I'd have to open a Chole Bhature store. And I'd actually just go and take a franchise from the store next to my house in Rohini. I'd go and do that. Rock Chole Bhature Ki Dukaan, okay? You could change it to like Rock G Chole Bhature Wala. Something like that, you know. I gotta use my name though. Daniel, #1 street food in India. Okay, so Delhi, Chole Bhature, Raj Kachori. Mumbai. I mean, if I was in Mumbai, I'd start some kind of chaat store and I'd sell like dahi puri or dahi puchka. This is my favorite food, which I always go and eat in Bandra when I'm in Mumbai. There's this amazing dahi puchka wala there. Dahi puchka and dahi puri, they were my favorite foods growing up as a teenager, my favorite Indian foods. I'd go to this Punjabi guy's store every single weekend in New Zealand with my Indian friends, and we'd just like order tons of dahi puri. My favorite Indian food of all time would have to be dahi puri, I think. Karl, how do you handle the haters? This is from Kartik. Oh, the haters. You get used to it as a YouTuber, right? And you just ignore them because these guys are just sad, loser keyboard warriors. There's a difference between hating and between constructive criticism. So the constructive criticism, when people write respectfully to me, I listen to it, I read it, and I contemplate what they've said. But the haters, just keyboard warriors, and I honestly just ignore them. It's absolutely like no point in listening to these people who are just spitting hate online. You've got to be respectful to people. And you know, all these keyboard warriors, they put off other people, like normal people, respectful people, from commenting because we all feel like we're going to get attacked as well if we comment on a video. So that's why the internet tends to get filled up with a bunch of keyboard warriors. And you got to remember, like 90% of your comments or my comments are positive. So you just got to ignore the hate and focus on the constructive criticism. And yeah, that's how I live my life. Ignore the haters. Now let's move on to questions about my family and Manisha. Deepa, how did you meet Manisha? Good question, Deepa. I think I might have told it in another video, but I'll quickly retell it. So I was living in an apartment in Malviya Nagar, and I had a Bengali flatmate, and it was her birthday. And she invited Manisha over because it was Manisha's birthday as well. They were friends. And I just remember, it was nighttime, and I remember a ring at the door, and I remember opening the door, and the first thing I saw was Manisha. And I don't remember much of my life, but I remember that moment, opening that door and seeing Manisha, and just something happening in my head. Don't know what it was, but I just had this feeling. And so over the course of that night, I just got to know Manisha, and it just kind of progressed slowly from there. The next time we went out together and we went to Lodi Gardens and just walked around and just talked. yeah, it was just simply meeting at, we met at Manisha's birthday party. Crazy, right? So I even know the date, the time, we've got photos. Yeah, that very moment, it's all captured. So, so nice. Next, Parrot. Will you and your wife move to New Zealand? How? No, we're not going to New Zealand. We're not moving there. We have no desire to live in New Zealand. Manisha doesn't. I want to be here as well. So, yeah. Like Manisha spent like 6 years studying for IAS because she wants to remain here in India and make some kind of a difference here in India. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to stay here in incredible India. Next, lucky one. How often do you travel with your wife? I get this question a lot because she doesn't travel a lot with me. We travel together like 2 or 3 times a year. That's it. And I'm obviously traveling a lot more. You know, the thing is, she has her own life. She can't just pack up and follow me around, and nor would I want her to. Being married, like, I always wanted that individuality and being able to, having the freedom to do what I want to do, and her having the freedom to do what she wants to do. You know, she can't just follow me around as I travel. She has her own life. So it's just a good thing to have all that time apart, you know, and then you come back to each other, and obviously we live together and we travel together 2 or 3 times a year. I think that's enough. The time apart is actually good for a relationship, I think. Ravan, when will you join politics? You have guts. Thank you for that, bro. I appreciate that. I can't see myself ever joining politics, to be honest. I mean, never say never, but absolutely zero plans, okay? When it comes to being a politician, I think they need to be a selfless person like Mahatma Gandhi, and they need to be a social worker, having worked in their community to better their community and to help their community. Their lives should be devoted to that before they become a politician. I'm not that selfless. I'm not devoted to a community here in India. I know I'm devoted to you guys online, but you know, to become a politician, you have to get voted in by your constituency. So yeah, being a politician is not me. And yeah, I know a lot of politicians aren't selfless and they aren't social workers, but you know, in an ideal world, I think that's what a social worker should be. This comes back to my father-in-law going for politics. That is the kind of guy that he is. He has spent the last 15 years looking after his constituency there in Hasi, even though he didn't win in the elections. But that's the kind of person you need to be. Someone like my father-in-law to become a good politician, and that's not me. So I can't see myself doing that. Not right now anyway. Thanks for the encouragement though, and the belief in me. I appreciate that. Now, Daniel Rose, if you had children, would you raise them in India or New Zealand? Well, so you might have heard in my other videos, I don't want kids. Before I got married, I said to Manisha, not interested, because I know my purpose in life is to help others, and having a kid is going to definitely get in the way of that. And I've raised a kid, you know. My sister had her kid at our home, Sean. So yeah, I've raised the kid with her and with my family. So I've been through all that, and yeah, just got no feeling to have a kid. And Manisha knew that when we got married. I told her that, and she's happy with that too, so it's good. But I went and asked her this question last night. What would we do if we had a kid, Manu? And yeah, we decided we'd raise them in here in India, actually. Like, we both want to be here in India, so it doesn't make sense for us to go to New Zealand just to raise a kid and send them to school. If we're going to stay here in India, it's better they get raised here in India. Nah, don't you agree? I think that's the right thing. Now, into travel and channel questions. This is from Shrey. Do you plan to do an in-depth series in other parts of Asia? Shrey, not really. My interest lay strictly here in India. It's my passion, it's my obsession. I am interested in India before partition as well, though, so Bangladesh and Pakistan. I do have a passion for those 2 countries as well. So if I do make other videos, it will be in Pakistan and Bangladesh, and I'm actually planning that at the moment. And you'll get vlogs from New Zealand occasionally when I go home. That's like once a year probably, and people always ask, do I miss my family? Not really. I lived with them for like 32 or 33 years, right? Like, it's time to live my own life, so I don't miss them. When will I be going back to Pakistan and Bangladesh? Yeah, planning that right now. I plan Pakistan, and then I think about it, like, what could happen to me when I go back there? Would they have taken offense to the videos I made? So it's one I like topsy-turvy about. I go backwards and forwards on. I definitely want to go, and I am planning to go, and I'm jotting down all my ideas for Pakistan. So I think I will get there. I think I will get there. I want to go this year. I'll definitely make it back to Bangladesh sooner rather than later. I've been before and I loved it there, just like I loved being in Pakistan. So chalo, I will go back there. Billy, any upcoming projects for 2020? Yes, Billy. So I need to become fluent in Hindi for my personal family life, because so many of my family members and so many people here in India don't speak English. It's really overstated that people speak English here in India, honestly. As soon as you leave Delhi, English is gone. Everything's in Hindi, the menus of the restaurants are in Hindi. And so many of my family members don't speak Hindi and we just can't connect good enough. So I'm gonna lock myself away for 3 months and, become fluent in Hindi. And the videos will keep coming, don't worry about that, nothing will change. I'll make some more kind of Hindi-focused videos as well during that time period and take you through my life as a Hindi student. So that'll be fun. Other plans? More travel in India, obviously. I'll never stop traveling India, even though I've been to every single state and union territory. There's always so much more to do in India. India never ends, honestly. It's a paradise like that. And Pakistan and Bangladesh, I'm planning for these two countries to do more stuff there as well. So that's the plans for 2020. Now, Ralph, how to avoid getting sick at all costs? You can't. There's absolutely no way to avoid getting sick here, honestly. Like, you can follow all the rules in my India survival guide, but you can still get sick. It is so common for people to get Delhi belly here in India. But the advice I can give you, as soon as you get that first bout of diarrhea, treat it straight away. Go and get the antibiotics, take those, and within 12 hours or the next day, you'll be feeling 100% again. So yeah, tackle the diarrhea and the stomach infections straight away. You'll only waste 12 hours or 24 hours of your trip here in India, okay? That's the best advice I can give. Now the final question, any tips for someone who wants to travel and live abroad? From J Brackett. Well, that's an entire video on itself. My number one advice would be, just do it. You know what I mean? You just have to start somewhere and just build from there. But the first step is just doing it. Just starting to travel. Just getting out of your home and making that commitment to leave home for 6 months, and that 6 months just travel around the world. And just trust that something good will happen, okay? I know those aren't very practical steps, but that's honestly what I did. I lost my job and I said, yep, I'm coming to India. I'm gonna spend a year here. I'm gonna see what happens. And if something good happens, then great. And I'm gonna focus on helping others. That's gonna be my goal. And if I do that, then I hope something good will happen. I'm not gonna worry about the money either. If I'm doing good work, the money will come to me. I'm just gonna trust in that. So that was my rationale for leaving New Zealand, coming to India, and giving it a go, traveling India and living abroad. Take that risk, okay? You gotta take risks in life. So thank you guys for another incredible year. And thank you so much for your support. And if you wanna keep supporting me so I can keep creating content here in Incredible India, hit that join button below, become a channel member. I really, really appreciate your support. Dhanyavad, Jai Hind, और फिर मिलेंगे.